Hello and welcome to Some Country Place. I have four-ish super easy meal ideas for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, welcome, and enjoy. So the first thing I'm making is like beef gravy over mashed potatoes. So obviously I'm starting with the meat. I have stew meat there that I season with salt and pepper, Badia Complete, garlic and herb seasoning, and seasoned salt. And I'm browning it on most-ish sides. I was kind of in a time crunch, so it wasn't like as browned as I wanted it to be, but I wanted to at least make an effort to sear some of it. So I am making that in my crock pot. So to my crock pot, I'm adding like the gravy mixture. So beef bouillon cubes and water. You can obviously use beef broth. I just always have the cubes. Worcestershire sauce, paprika, minced onion, onion powder, parsley, and pepper. I did not add salt because I feel like the bouillon cubes are salty enough. So I skipped that and also added cornstarch, which coming up here is in a jar. I like to take things out of original packaging when I can, just to make my cupboards look pretty. I know that's extra, but that's what I do. So once I added that cornstarch, I just really mixed everything together well, and then added like somewhat brownish seared beef tips in there. And I cooked that all day, low and slow. And the gravy wasn't as thick as I wanted it to be, but it was still good according to my husband and our friend. And just served that over mashed potatoes with green beans. So if I make this again, I would probably add more cornstarch or try something else to make the gravy thicker. On this day, I'm making buffalo chicken naan pizzas. So I had some shredded chicken frozen in the freezer, and it's kind of still somewhat frozen. So that's in the pan there, and I put some hot sauce on. Obviously, use your favorite. Put a lid on it and let that heat up and heat up and de-thaw and all of those things in the pan. So I did bake those little naan things for a couple minutes, and then took them out of the oven. and I'm making the sauce now. So the hot sauce that I used and ranch, you could use blue cheese. My husband doesn't like that though, so I use ranch and use that as the sauce aspect of the pizza. And then, of course, I am putting a layer of cheese. I used some of the first two is mozzarella, and then the last two was Italian style cheese, because I just simply ran out of mozzarella. So and then added once the chicken was heated up, I shredded it a bit more, and then added that to the top of the cheese. Then I sprinkled some of those freeze-dried chives on top of that, and then dashed a couple more sprinkles of hot sauce, and then of course more cheese on top. And then I put this back in the oven and let like the cheese melt, like, and kind of brown, you know, like turn it into a pizza. Like, did all those things. I just kind of watched it and I was like, oh, that looks good. I've never used naan bread before, so I wanted to keep an eye on it, but it turned out good. And I just served it with a side salad, and both my husband and our friend really enjoyed it, and I will probably make it again because it was super easy. On this day, I had super high hopes of grilling everything, and then things went sideways. But I have those potatoes that I was going to throw on the grill, and I cut them into discs and heavily seasoned them with Badia Complete, and then I wrapped them in tin foil and was gonna throw them on the grill, like I said. I have a pork loin that I'm trimming the fat off of. And then I season that pork loin with chipotle chili powder, smokehouse maple, like the Grill Master one. I did add some oil and salt and pepper. So seasoned all sides, like the big side, the other big side, and then I use like the remainders on that plate to season like the two ends. And I wrapped that in foil and put those both on the grill. Well, then of course I ran out of propane, so took them off the grill and put them in the oven to finish cooking. And so it was a process, but I was excited to grill a pork loin. I've never done that before, so I wanted to see how that turned out, but maybe next time it'll work in my favor. Once those were done in like start off the grill / oven, I honestly just served the pork loin and the potatoes together. I didn't have a vegetable of any sort, which I know is not a balanced meal, but this is real life. So this is what it was, and my husband really enjoyed it. On this day, it was my mom's birthday the next day, and so she wanted me to come over and play games with her and hang out, and I was like, well, I'll bring dinner because you shouldn't have to cook on your birthday. So anyways, I'm making lasagna is her favorite, so I'm making lasagna, prepping it at my house, and then I brought it over to her house to finish cooking. So I have ground beef that I'm seasoning with salt and pepper, garlic and herb seasoning, Italian seasoning, oregano, and basil. And then I did add a diced onion to this and let that all cook the meat to like finish browning and all of that. Once the meat was browned, I used the paper towel method to drain all the grease. And then I added minced garlic and let that cook just for like a little bit. And then added just jarred marinara sauce with, and I always put water in the jar, mix it around, added that to get all of the sauce out, and more Italian seasoning and more basil, and I like put a lid on that and let that simmer. Let the sauce heat up, the flavors all come together. And I know I'm horrible, but I didn't get a picture of like our plates, but I also brought side salad makings and garlic bread, brought that all over, finished cooking everything in her oven, and that's what the end result was. And she said she was super happy, and it was just her and my stepdad and my brother, and my mom still had leftovers for another meal with this lasagna, and she enjoyed that. And also beat me 3 times in Scrabble, which is not abnormal because she's way better at Scrabble than I am, but I'm the only child of hers that will play with her, and so she wanted to play Scrabble, and of course she beat me. I think in all of our years, I'm almost 35, I've probably beat her like 4 times, so she's super good at Scrabble. Or maybe I just suck that bad, I don't know, but I'm better than my siblings, so I claim that she's just really good. That was a rant. Apologies. Anywho, so back to the lasagna. I'm making the cheese mixture now, so I have an egg that I'm scrambling-ish up and adding ricotta cheese to that, and Italian style cheese, like shredded cheese and Parmesan. So lots of cheese action. And then for the seasonings, I'm adding like the same ones I added for the ground beef: parsley, basil, garlic and herb, oregano, and Italian seasoning. And then mixing that all together really good. And I know I have gotten some like comments and questions like throughout the last year. Now I've been doing what's for dinner videos about like what I eat versus what my husband eats, because obviously those who know I'm a vegetarian. So most of the things I make I don't eat. And I promise I am working on a video. It takes some time, and honestly it's going to be pretty anticlimactic because 90% of the time I just eat like salad, but so building the lasagna time, I have obviously a dish I prepped with cooking spray and then putting the sauce mixture on the bottom, and I'd cook some lasagna noodles, not like all the way through, but al dente, and layering those down. Then adding the ricotta cheese mixture and a sprinkle more of oregano. And then more shredded Parmesan and some cubed up mozzarella. I ran out of shredded mozzarella, so I had some and I just cubed it up and thought that would work, and then repeated the layers. And I saw this a lot of times I'll like look through cooking things just to like get inspiration, and I saw someone making a lasagna that did like crisscross noodles, and so I thought, why not try it? I don't know, it seemed like a good idea because it was like, oh yeah, that might like hold together better. But anyways, repeated those layers, and then like the top layer was just the sauce mixture and the cheeses and the spices. So I didn't put like the ricotta cheese. It was just sauce and then Parmesan, mozzarella, and the spices. And then I covered that. And like I said, I brought this over to my mom's house and threw it in her oven and got side salad stuff ready. Just brought some like garlic bread, frozen stuff. When the lasagna was getting close to done, threw that in the oven. And they super enjoyed it. Like, my mom loves lasagna, but she never makes it because she says it's too labor intensive. So I thought I would make it for her birthday. So thank you so much for watching. Please come back for future videos.